Hello my friends! A lot of you guys are asking me about Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. It is not on the market yet, the release has also been postponed to 5th October and it is possible that there will be future delays, but Blackmagic has released several original files shot on BMPCC 4K and these are available for download on their website, which I really appreciate. So in this video we will take a look at those clips. We will explore the color grading options, dynamic range, noise, color science and so on, and I will try to evaluate the output of Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K and also compare it a bit to Panasonic GH5S. The first scene that we will take a look at is called Balloons, shot by Andreas Neumann in DCI 4K Apple ProRes 422HQ at ISO 800 using Rokinon T1.5 prime lenses. As you can see, this was shot during golden hour, so we have bright sky and lower part of the frame is in shadows, and it seems like it was shot using log profile. The dynamic range appears to be really good, the footage is correctly exposed, and as you can see, there is still a lot of information and color captured in the bright part of the frame. This footage works well for my style of causal color grading, where I just raise the saturation and create an S-curve. There is a lot of detail captured in the shadows, so it is pretty easy to get your desired look. Colors in this footage are just a bit too cold for my taste, so I would adjust the color temperature a bit, and these files have no problems with that. You can also raise the sharpness a bit, depending on what kind of look are you going for. These colors indeed look, as we say, cinematic, so that seems to be carried over from the original Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera. The second clip that we will take a look at is called Mountain Bike, shot by Joey Knox in 1080p using Cinema DNG. So it is raw, it is 25p footage probably slowed down from 100 or 120 frames per second, shot at ISO 400 or 800, that is not clear from the description. The footage is fairly flat, but it is saturated because it is not a log, so I would just raise the contrast a bit by creating slight S-curve. The sharpness and amount of detail is okay. I would maybe raise the sharpening just a bit, but overall it looks good, the movement is very well processed. I don't think that DNG is that big of advantage here. This 45-second clip takes up about 2.5 GB, but it is nice to have an option to shoot DNG even for slow motion. Next clip is called Models Walking in Daylight, shot in DCI 4K Apple ProRes 422 at ISO 1000 or 1250. Unfortunately, I don't know what picture profile is this, but I don't think that it is log, but I might be wrong about that. Here we can also see really good dynamic range with a lot of details and color captured in the window and also around the lamp in the background. The skin tones look good here, so does the noise, but I wish there was some scene with harsh lights on the models files available to download to judge the highlights roll off, and I would also like to see clips with different types of skin tones, but in this scene it looks quite good. One more scene that we will take a look at is called Bugs, with this green mantis shot in UHD 4K Apple ProRes 422HQ at ISO 2500. This probably is log, it is maybe the most difficult scene for the sensor, and I really like how it is able to capture the details in that leaf in the bottom part of the frame and also the parts of the frame where the light is shining, so the highlight roll-off seems to be really good here. ISO 2500 is close to higher native ISO, so there are no problems with noise. The green also looks good here. Again, the color kind of looks like film. I can't really identify why, but it is in my opinion somewhat unique look, which may or may not be an advantage, depending on your preferences. I generally like it, although I'm not sure whether I would like to use this color science for the stuff that I usually shoot, but it is a pocket cinema camera, so I guess that it should indeed look cinematic. As you can tell, I have been editing these clips with Lumetri in Premiere Pro, because that is what I use most of the time. BMPCC 4K comes with included DaVinci Resolve that I also intend to try in the future. I definitely recommend using SSD though, like this external SanDisk Extreme Portable that I use. because ProRes 422 files out of the BMPCC 4K are indeed huge. It shoots the ProRes 422 HQ in 800 megabits per second, but when I compare it to 150 megabits per second 4K 422 long GOP from Panasonic GH5S, I actually don't think that I can get any more information from those ProRes files, and editing the GH5S footage on my computer is okay as well, although ProRes is generally less demanding. I haven't seen the 2 gigabits per second 4K DNG files, so I can't tell you about those. There is actually little difference between 150 megabits per second long GOP and 400 megabits per second all-intra files shot on the GH5S, because the long GOP, which captures just the difference between the frames, is just so good. You can at least use external SSD as storage for the BMPCC 4K using the USB-C port, which is great, and for large productions the storage won't be that big of a deal, but for creatives like myself, the file size may be a problem if you want to use full potential of the BMPCC 4K. Other than that, it seems like a very interesting camera with some great features and amazing 5-inch touchscreen, but not necessarily for me because I am one-man production and I need continuous autofocus for product reviews. It is also quite big, not weather sealed, and I will definitely prefer the handling of the GH5S. On the other hand, I really like that cinematic color science, so I would definitely like to try out the BMPCC 4K once it is finally released. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope that you liked this video and that you found it to be useful. Stay tuned for more videos and maybe consider subscribing if you don't want to miss my future content. I appreciate your feedback in form of thumbs up or thumbs down. If you'd like to ask anything or share your opinion, please do so in the comment section, and see you next time.